Welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. Figured it was time for me to do another walk and talk video. I don't know what city I was in for the last one, but behind me is Cuenca. I'll be here for the next couple days, and actually over here is what made me think about it. You can see the name there, kinda right there. It's Chill and Grill Express, and that was by far one of the best burgers I had, and cheap. That's kind of the reason for the video. Is I've been listening to Jack Mallers, of course, and I listened to his most recent Mailbag Monday post. Today's Tuesday, and listened to that yesterday, and he is definitely passionate about what's happening with the middle class and the youth. I believe he's 31, and I mean, he was born in the fucking 90s, man, like 91. That is crazy. Or 1990 or whatever, 94. Can't do math right now. But the point I'm getting at is that he's passionate about what's going on there and the hollowing out of the middle class, and the fact that kids in his generation can't buy homes. And I think he put something up there that said like a home in LA is like 90% of the median income. That's fucking nuts. That is insane. And I'll definitely be playing back some clips from him later on this week. But the reason I bring that up is because, yeah, the only way out, like he says, is through Bitcoin, because there is no middle class. But for those of you that are willing to take the dive like me, that is another way out, because Bitcoin allows you to opt out with your dollars or whatever currency you have wherever you're from. You don't have to stay in that system where they're stealing your economic energy. You can actually choose to pack your shit up and go somewhere else where it's going to be better. Because essentially the reason why the US is so bad in regards to currency debasement and what you can buy for the dollar is because of, yeah, the hollowing out of the middle class. But the reason the middle class got hollowed out is because we are the world reserve currency. So when you're the world reserve currency, your job is to export more dollars than you import, put it that way. And that leaves you with a deficit. It's the Trickfin's dilemma. I brought it up on the channel before. You can look it up yourself. But essentially, there's no way out of this. So the solution, like they're doing right now, run the economy hot, drop the rates. Like, make no mistake, by the time May comes around next year and the new appointed Fed chair comes in, they're going to drop rates from whatever it is. We'll say it's probably going to be around 3 and some change. They're going to drop that shit to 2 and 1 and just flood the economy. Why? Because they have to kick the can down the road they can't afford the interest rates, payments, basically. So what does that mean? Well, put it simply, if logically, because this is what took me a while to figure this stuff out, and maybe many of you already have this figured out, but whenever they're talking about debasement and Fed rates and all that stuff, think about it logically. Let's just say you were going to borrow $1 billion. Right? Would you rather borrow $1 billion with a 4% interest rate, or borrow it at 1, or at 0, which is what they had back during the other financial crisis? So, and also you're like, well, why would I borrow anyway? Because you borrow because they're giving you free money. Or if you have a company, you're like, let me borrow money and then put that money back into my company and make it grow, so that the growth will outpace the interest rate on the borrowed money that I got. Hence why stock prices and stuff are up so damn high, why real estate up so damn high. Because if you can get $10 billion, $1 billion, whatever, at 1%, 2%, well, you'll borrow that and then go buy real estate, go buy stock with dividends, things that will appreciate and pay a higher interest rate than what you owe. So I brought all that up to say that when this cut continues, it's just going to pump asset prices higher. And that's, again, Jack's thesis, is that the main assets they're trying to pump is Bitcoin and gold. and we're seeing gold already at all-time highs. Bitcoin still chopping around, but make no mistake, it will continue to pump. So again, you can get the hell out of the fiat Ponzi rat race and take your Bitcoin and come explore another city. So when I started the original video with Chill Grill and talk about they were one of the better burgers, is because I sat down to eat and they had on the menu, the burgers were about like $7 for a meal, and I was like, okay, that's like average prices, but they had a promo. You get 2 burgers, 2 french fries for $10 plus drinks. I was like, oh shit. So I went ahead and bought that because it just made more sense. So, and that's not even the cheapest food. That's kind of like expensive food for me out here. Like I can get meals, typically I'll eat for about 3 to 5. I guess if I would have broke that up into 2 meals, it could have been a $5 meal. But yeah, I can find food out here, really good food, quite filling food, healthy food, for $3 to $5 a meal. So that means on average, because I eat usually 1 meal a day or 1 really big meal, but let's just say I'm spending on average $10 a day to $15 a day. That's $300 to $450 a month. And that's eating out. So you're like, whoa, my grocery bill's cheaper than that. But this is a tip I got from Alex Hormozy. Think about the amount of time and money you spend for A, grocery shopping. So getting in your car, going to the store, buying the groceries, checking out, putting the groceries back in your car, driving home, putting the groceries up. Then you haven't even prepped any food for when you want to eat. So that means in your kitchen, you have to have silverware, plates, cups, all that stuff. And then you have to prep it, which means pots and pans. Then you have the time, then you got to do the cleanup. When you add all that shit up, it comes out a hell of a lot more expensive than if you're living overseas like myself and paying someone to make all your meals. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually do enjoy cooking, but seeing the benefit and the time savings and not having to clean up and be able to get different cuisines, I may not go back to cooking ever again. I don't know. And then the hotels I'm staying at are like anywhere from $15 to $20 a day. So that's getting your room cleaned, and some of them have breakfast included. So there may not be a middle class in the US, but if you can take your middle class income, or hell, the actual lower class income, and move overseas, you can live like the top 10%, 1%, in the world. So, Ecuador. All right, that was my rant. So I'll definitely be putting up some videos and content from Jack about this, but the TLDR is 1, get yourself some Bitcoin. 2, cut your expenses, be that wherever you're living or if you plan on moving. 3, spend less than you earn. 4, continue to stay home for FlapJax. It's the only life we got to live. Make it your best one. Live daily and achieve your impossible. See you guys.